What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. This one's going to be fun. We're talking about the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. And honestly, whenever I think about how many phones get released throughout the year, the Note from Samsung is always a phone that I look forward to, I would say almost just as much as the new iPhone. And that's because the Note has always represented the epitome of mobile technology for Samsung. You know, outside of phones that can now fold their displays, which is pretty crazy. But I know a lot of videos over the current Note 20 Ultra have featured that pretty cool Mystic Bronze color, but I personally wanted to switch it up. So my personal Galaxy Note 20 Ultra is going to be Mystic White, because I feel like with that awesome design that's featured on this year's Note 20 Ultra, that white color just looks super, super crisp. And I think design is a good place to start with this phone, because I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra is one of the best, if not the best looking smartphones to be released in all of 2020. Now, obviously, we are gonna have to wait and see what Apple and Google decide to release here in about a month or so, but the Note 20 Ultra looks amazing. It's got that classic Note build, so it's like rectangular and boxy in shape, but it also looks really professional. It honestly reminds me a lot of the build quality of last year's Galaxy Note 10, but this time around it features a camera bump the size of what you would find on the S20 Ultra. Now, the only difference with that camera bump is it's been refined, it's been redesigned. You can tell that Samsung put thought into the design of this particular camera bump. It actually looks like it belongs on the phone. Now, this is a premium build from Samsung, so you are going to get the additional premium build nice qualities to have, like wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, and an IP68 water and dust resistance rating. So those are always a plus. Now up front, you've got a massive 6.9-inch WQHD Plus display with a 120Hz refresh rate and the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. And on the top middle of the display, you'll find a very, very small hole punch cutout for the front-facing selfie camera. Honestly, I feel like every time Samsung releases a new flagship phone, they manage to make the hole punch even smaller, which is awesome. I've said it once, and I'll continue to say it, I will 100% take a display that just has a small hole punch cutout with a built-in fingerprint sensor over a phone that has super sophisticated facial unlock technology that will inevitably lead to having a notch. Now, there are a couple things I want to point out about this display. If you decide to go the high refresh rate route, you will be locked to full HD plus resolution. You cannot have maximum resolution and maximum refresh rate at the same time. And number two is, this display, unlike the one you'll find on the S20 Ultra, is actually curved around the edges. The S20 Ultra had more of a flat display around the edges. Now, I personally prefer a flat display. I just feel like it's one of those features where you don't really get any benefit to having curved edges unless you consider accidental touches a benefit. And it's also just easier to find a screen protector for a display that's flat. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but my personal preference is a flat display. This year's Note also comes with ultra premium internals in the form of a Snapdragon 865 Plus processor and 12 gigs of RAM. So it comes with a processor that is a slightly higher performing version of the flagship processor from Qualcomm, which is nice considering the Note typically comes out in the latter half of the calendar year. So you're not like bogged down by having last year's processor super late in the year. So that's cool. And paired with 12 gigs of RAM, you know what that means. The phone is an absolute screamer. There's essentially nothing that it can't handle. We've reached a point with flagship phones these days where they're all just going to perform really well, and the Note 20 is no exception to that. And I can't put my finger on it. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly it is, but One UI on the Note 20 just seems a little more fluid and easier to navigate than it did on the S20 Ultra. I don't know if that's just like a psychological thing with me or if other people out there feel the same, but I can't figure it out. It just feels nicer to use than One UI on the S20 Ultra. But there is one super big gripe I have about the software, and that's that specific Samsung applications will start showing you ads as you're using them. I'm not even kidding. I can't check the weather app on this phone without seeing a huge banner for Pandora or TikTok or some other thing that the phone wants me to take a look at. That's pretty ridiculous. If anyone knows how to turn that off, can you please let me know in the comment section down below, because seeing an ad when you're just trying to check the weather is pretty ridiculous, bro. Now, earlier in the year when Samsung dropped the S20 Ultra and I saw that it had a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, I figured this year's premium Note would also come with at least a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, or if Samsung really wanted to push the limits, they would find a way to put an even bigger battery in the Note, considering it's typically a larger device. But they actually did the opposite this year. The battery size on the Note is smaller than what you would find on the S20 Ultra. It comes in at 4,500 milliamp hours, and Samsung has said that they found a way to optimize the balance between performance and the impact on battery life. But I honestly think it's just because you have to house the internals of the S Pen, right? So that naturally takes away some real estate on the inside of the phone that could be used for a larger battery. Now on the plus side, the phone is still really good in terms of overall battery life. And lately, my daily usage with the phone has involved watching like 3 to 4 hours of YouTube videos or Twitch streams every day, and probably like an hour to an hour and a half of 3D mobile gaming, and I've still been able to get through a full day just fine. Other good news is that the phone charges really fast. It doesn't have that 45-watt charging capability like last year's Note did, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. I doubt the Note 10 from last year could really charge on a full 45-watt stream of power for that long of a period, but it does come with 25-watt charging, and that's plenty fast to top it off if you happen to get low. So overall, while the battery is smaller, it still gets the job done just fine. Speaking of the S Pen, it's here. It wouldn't be a Galaxy Note if there wasn't an S Pen, and every year Samsung typically finds a way to improve the S Pen in some way. Now this year they did that by dropping the latency down to 9 milliseconds. So what does that mean for you? It essentially means that the amount of time it takes for the display to reproduce the input that you're providing with the S Pen is so close to non-existent that it leads to one of the most fluid and natural experiences with the S Pen to date. So if you're someone that really likes to use the S Pen or even relies on the S Pen whenever you buy a Galaxy Note, this is by far the best S Pen experience ever. Now to put it in perspective for you, it's so impressive that the latency time on the S Pen is the same as the second generation Apple Pencil. And if you've ever used the second generation Apple Pencil with an iPad Pro, you'll know that it's one of the most natural stylus experiences that money can buy. So overall, super impressive stuff by Samsung, and the S Pen is just as awesome as it's always been. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the elephant on the phone, because that camera bump on the back of the Note 20 Ultra is huge, but it looks really nice and it also performs really well. So you have 3 lenses, 12 megapixel ultra wide, you have a 12 megapixel telephoto, and you have a massive 108 megapixel wide angle. Now you also have a laser autofocus module, which is actually very important. So I wasn't exactly worried about the quality of photos that the phone was going to reproduce, and we're obviously going to show you photos. And the Note 20 Ultra is capable of producing bright, detailed, and vivid photos. So like I said, I wasn't worried about that. Honestly, I think the more important thing to focus on, no pun intended, is that Samsung very subtly admitted that there were some things that needed to be addressed with the S20 Ultra's camera module, and they very quietly fixed them on the Note 20 Ultra. So if you guys watched our review over the S20 Ultra, you'll know that I thought the phone took really good photos. There were just a couple things about that camera system that needed to be addressed. Number one was its focus issues. So I found that when I was taking photos with the S20 Ultra, especially photos that contained a little bit of a closer subject, the phone would unintentionally blur parts of the subject that it probably shouldn't. Now thankfully Samsung has fixed that on the Note 20 Ultra by including that previously mentioned laser autofocus module, so the Note 20 Ultra is capable of focusing on subjects much better this time around. So overall focus has been dramatically improved with this camera setup. Now the second thing that I wasn't a huge fan of on the S20 Ultra's camera module was that 100 times space zoom that Samsung spent quite a bit of time talking about, and they even went so far as to put 100 times space zoom on the actual module of the S20 Ultra itself. Now that's been bumped down to 50 times space zoom on the Note 20 Ultra, and to be completely honest with you, I still couldn't find a scenario to take a 50 times photo. But I did take a 10 times photo, and the Note 20 Ultra produces pretty usable photos with a good amount of detail even in 10 times zoom. So overall, this camera setup is capable of producing good photos and it actually looks really nice.
Hey bro, what about video capabilities?
The phone can shoot in 8K cinematic at 24 frames per second, but if you ask me, you should probably stick to 4K 60 or 1080p 60.
Huh.
Wait, did I not talk about that? But that just about does it, guys. The Galaxy Note 20 Ultra is a very big phone with some small changes that lead to it being an excellent flagship phone from Samsung. Now let's talk about that super steep price tag. The Galaxy Note 20 Ultra is available in 3 colors, Mystic Bronze, Mystic White, and Mystic Black, and 128 gigabytes of storage starts at $1,299. Now you can bump it up to 512 gigabytes of storage, but that'll set you back $1,450, and 512 gigs of storage is only available in Mystic Black. Now, obviously, both of those options are ridiculously expensive. So if you have some sort of a way to reduce the overall cost, maybe trading in a phone or selling an old phone, or maybe you just have the cash to buy a Note 20 Ultra. Either way, if you do, you won't be disappointed. It's an excellent phone as long as you can get over that price tag. If you enjoyed our review, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below. It lets us know that you really are enjoying these videos, and it shows us that we definitely should be making more reviews for you. Outside of that, thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.